Okay, all my three YouTube fans, here's what we're going to do today. So, my prior post was the songwriting post. This is a private post, which I'm going to keep public. But it really has nothing to do with music. This is something for my daughter for the future that I don't get to see because I don't know. So, I want you to stop listening to this if you're not my daughter right now because it's kind of private. But I have to put it on here because of the eventuality of me passing on. If I pass on, I want her to get this information, and it's going to be in a many part series because it's a long story. So it'll be posted as 1 and 2 and 3, and it's just going to be for Natalie. All right, that's what the title's going to be. But I really don't want anybody watching this because it's part of my private life. So out of respect, don't watch it because I'm not going to put it on Facebook. If you do watch it, don't text me and tell me anything because it's none of your business. I don't want to talk about it. I'm using this as a documented piece of history to make sure that she knows because right now she's too young. Her doesn't matter. So with that said, I'm going to start talking. Thank you. Natalie, this is your dad. I don't know if I'm still alive yet when you see this. You can certainly call me. You know where I live. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know ever since I left Grand Rapids, I have been kept from seeing you, kept from talking to you. As you know, I bought you a couple cell phones. I personally gave you one when you were here when I got married, and then I sent you one. And the last time I talked to you, you were very upset with me because you had stated I had left you. Well, that's not the case. And sometimes when you're small, you forget how things go. And this is for you at 18, not for you at 13 or 14 years old, because and it isn't a blame thing. This is something that your mother and I should have never had to discuss at all with you. It should have never been brought up because it doesn't affect anything. Nothing changes, is what I'm saying. But you need to know why I haven't been in your life, because as of right now, 2021, September, you are under the impression that I left you, which is far from the case. So I'm very sad that I even have to tell this story. I'm going to tell brief stuff, and I'm a firm believer if both parties aren't there, you shouldn't even tell the story. But obviously, both parties aren't here. She doesn't let me talk to you. She doesn't communicate with me about anything I ask her involving you. Anytime I've tried to have you down by me to visit, she has not responded, or she's come up with some excuse why you shouldn't come or why you couldn't come. And I guess it goes on like this. When you were small, you and I were best buddies. We did everything together. So it wasn't, we didn't have a bad relationship. We were in the garden every day I got off work. I was a normal dad. I came home every day. I wasn't running around doing anything wrong. I was just working and being dad. And after your grandfather, your mom's dad, died, everything went to hell because I worked for him. And during the time I was working for him, your mother had already had two boyfriends outside of me that she cheated on me with. And we don't need to mention their names. She can tell you because that's all true. And she never wanted you to know that. And that's a huge part of the reason why she doesn't let you talk to me. She fears that I'm going to say something because her ex-husband got the same treatment as me. That's why she got divorced from your brothers and sisters' dad, because she was having an affair on him, and he found out, and that was it. So this is like, she's a repeat offender, if you want to call it something accurate. Well, anyway, long story short, after your grandfather died, I was working at Northland, working with schizophrenics in group homes, and I had a friend I worked with. His name was John, and you know his last name. Anyway, your mom was going to school in Bemidji, finishing up her education degree, and she told me one night, she said, I'm really having trouble with my higher math, and I wish I knew somebody. And I had talked, I worked with a guy. He, was a graduate from BSU. He had a pretty adequate education. He was decent in math. So I remember it like yesterday. I wrote down your mom's number. I slid it across the desk to him in her office, and I said, give her a call. I said, we'll even pay you to help her out. Well, anyway, I called your mom that night from work, and I said, hey, I found someone to help you out. Well, anyway, yeah, he ended up helping her out. They ended up having an affair on me. You were very, very small at this point. I found out about it. Your mom kept everything from me. And I was told third party by another coworker. I had to find out from someone I worked with that he was bragging about it too. And so I left. Yes, I did leave. I left you and your mom living there, and it shouldn't have had anything to do with you. It was all about her and what she did, not what you did. You didn't do anything wrong. You're just a little kid. Well, you used to come see me at my apartment, if you remember that. And John moved in, at the house with you guys. And that's how he ended up in your life. Your mom cheating on me. And Jeff, the person that lives there right now, it's kind of the same story. If you fast forward down the road, when I was living in Osceola after I'd moved away from Grand Rapids, I tried working things out with your mom, and I came up there on her birthday, and there was something hanging off the post office box, and she had still been talking to John. It was a gift from John to her, so she was lying to me again, and I kept it inside. I didn't say nothing to her that night, and I left that out on the front porch. I was going to talk to her after you went to bed. And you were so happy to see me, and that's when you were the happiest, when you had your mom and dad together. And anyway, I came in the house, and we watched SpongeBob, and I was reading to you, and finally it was time for you to go to bed. And then there was a phone call, and who was it? Jeff Siebert. And when your mom was talking to him, she had to go back to the bathroom to talk to him. She wouldn't talk to him in front of me, because why? She was sleeping with me, she was sleeping with Jeff, and probably still sleeping with John. Up to her old stuff again. And that's how you ended up with Jeff in your life, because that night after she got off the phone, I showed her the package that was left in the mailbox from John, and I said, what's this? And she looked at me and she said, why don't you get your horror pants on and get out of here? She was busted, basically. She knew it. And she goes, and Jeff's just my friend. I could never kiss him and be gross. Well, they got married, right? So it must have been too gross. Well, he is gross, but whatever. But that's part of the story. That's part of why you've been driven out of my life. That's part of why all of the things that it's an erosion process. If she could keep you from me and keep you from talking to me, then I would eventually just disappear in your mind, which is really what's happened. Then you draw your own conclusions in your head, and you're saying, well, my dad doesn't want to see me, my dad doesn't want to see. That isn't the case at all. I love you very much, and there's way more to the story, giving you a very condensed version of it. So, anyway, Dad loves you, and that's why we don't talk. Has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with me. And maybe your mom will come clean someday. Maybe she won't. But it's up for you to decide when you're old enough. You need to get a hold of your dad because I leave messages every day. I haven't now for the last 2 weeks. I've given up. So don't take my giving up as I'm giving up on you. I've just, what's the point? You never get the message, you know? It's not, there's no point in me trying anymore. So hopefully I'm alive when you graduate because I'll come find you. But that's how it is, Nat. I love you, and I hope you see this when you're 18. There's a few people that are going to have the link that are going to give it to you. And I didn't want it this way. I even told your mom, I said, I'll forget about everything if you just let me see my daughter. Let me be with her. Let me be part of her life. And for some reason, not the case. Anyway, I hope to talk to you at some point. Bye-bye.